There we go. Okay. So, um, here's a little sound studio theory for you. Some mics require you to have the 44K button pushed in because it needs just a little bit more power. Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 15th of July episode of my fantabulous live stream, which we call the Bevies, Blades, and Bushcraft live stream because we got, bevies, we got blades, and when the planets align, we talk about bushcraft. I also have this little guy, which I've been keeping in my pocket. It's a nice little solution. So how's everyone doing tonight? Let me just go through the housekeeping first. If you're watching us, time shifted to tomorrow or next week or whatever. Thanks for sharing your time with me, even after the fact, even though you cannot partake in all this fun Chitty McChat up in the corner or in the side chat. Warms the cockles of my heart to know that you're out there watching this stuff, engaging with the stuff, sometimes leaving little comments in the doobly-doo down there. That's great. Yeah, if at any point you love this as much as I do, then I invite you to hit the smiley thumb. If at any point you're kind of like, oh, I hate that here, that's okay. The frowny thumb works just as well. And if you'd like to take a more active role in supporting the channel, as several in the side chat already have, then I invite you to hit that join button, right click on it, open it in a new tab, and take a look. And there you will see, while you hear this glorious live stream in the background, the 2 tiers of membership that are open to you, as well as what you get for each tier. For those of you who are members, please note that we have another Jesse and Cody Spice Challenge coming out, but it ended up getting a little off the rails and going kind of long, so I've got to edit that one down. I know we don't usually edit those, but that one, yeah, that's got to have to be edited. And now I shall remove my tea bag. And say hi to those who are hanging. So at 3:50. Okay, so yeah, I set this up quite early today. Just to make sure that I wasn't, rushing down here and throwing it all together at the, at the last second. David is asking if anyone's been to Tobermory for a touristy visit. I have. It's bloody lovely. So at 3:50 Canadian popping in, saying hi. That is definitely ahead of the curve. I didn't know that anyone would even notice, because I figured that the notice goes out about a half hour before. Am I wrong about that? David Evans popping in. Oh, by the way, Canadian is a channel hero, as is David Evans, but David Evans is also a channel mod. So he was number 2. And by the way, be nice or David Evans will drop the hammer on you. Have another sip of my little jasmine tea here. Love jasmine tea. I have really good memories of going to this big kind of Chinese buffet in Chinatown here in Montreal. It wasn't great food, but I loved going there. And I don't even know if it's still there, because I'm never downtown anymore. But I would always finish off with a cup of jasmine tea. It's a very calming flavor. It makes me zen out just a little bit. So the third one in was Mark Davidson, who's also a channel hero. Nice to see you, Mark. And then popped in Christy. Between 3:50 for Canadian and number 2, David Evans, right, who popped in at 8:02. There's a pretty big jump there. And then 5 minutes before David Evans, then at 8:35, so another, 28 minutes, 27 minutes later, Christy popped in to say hi to me and everyone. Christy's also a channel hero. Everyone was saying hi. And then there's Country Boy at 8:59, who's a channel mod and a channel hero. It's good having so many mods around, because I haven't had a guest on, if I remember correctly, since that night when Kevin Callan came on, and there was someone just ripping him in the side chat, and I didn't notice it because I was just concentrating on the great conversation. But he did notice it, and so I've been really, really nervous about having a guest on again. Even though, anyways, I mean, I've got a lot more mods now, so. And we seem to not have trolls as often as we used to, or maybe you guys are just like absolute rock stars and like, you're out. So yeah, a country boy. I realize I haven't been showing these people on screen, but you know, I'll do it. I'll do it starting now. Russell popping in at like, what was that? 9 o'clock exactly. So there he is. Classy as usual. Just want to see if there's anyone I'm missing. Oh, there's Destiny, Channel Hero, at 9 o'clock as well. I saw that whole convo, Mr. Canadian. You're having a great time tonight. And then we got, everyone's just sort of saying hi to each other. So it's not like there's Peanut Trucker. I'm looking for him in the, oh, you guys are getting ads. Okay. No, that was at 9:01 and we're at 9:10. So there's Peanut Trucker popping in. Peanut Trucker is a channel mod. So be nice. Or get the road hammer dropped upon you. Hold on a second. Just more of hello. Country Boy is saying that I was muted. Yes, I definitely noticed that. That was my own fault. I was having trouble with my sound earlier, and I guess I just punched out the 44.1 kilohertz switch on my little whatever these things are called. What is it? An interface? A musical interface? I think that's what they're called. Hold on. Just let me unlock this. Do this. That's not going to work, is it? Hold on. Did that work? No. No, it ain't going to work. Okay. So never mind. Forget about it. It's because it's not going to work unless I plug it in physically. I was going to show you guys my interface box, but whatever. I'm not taking the time to dick around. I'm saying. Oh, my throat's really dry. Okay, so we're skipping down a bit to make sure that we're saying hi to everybody. Everybody. Yeah. Buddy. Okay, Mark David, Christy, Peanut Trucker, Destiny, Country Boy, and I just jumped to the bottom. Sorry. Beto's here. How you doing, Beto? Let me just scroll down to Beto so that I can. Oh my land! No, the mic doesn't need to be turned on. It's a radio mic, so it's always on. But it's a very low. It's a very low power mic, which is why I've got this attachment here, which is a load lifter. But even with that, you need to turn the 44.1 kilohertz on your interface for it to work. This is not a computer oriented mic at all. It's meant to go into a soundboard in a radio studio. If you've heard a North American radio station from CBC to NPR since the 60s, this is the mic they're using. A lot of European studios as well. The BBC has traditionally used a very different mic that has a real coolness to it. Like, it sounds different for sure. It's why the BBC always sounds a little crisper, a little more high end, whereas this is it's a much bassier mic. I mean, unless you, I'm not going to pull it off, because then if I can't get it on, and you guys will be like, "What are you doing?" But anyways, but I love it. This mic still gives me the fizz. It's iconic. I love to use iconic sound stuff. That's why I love, that red bass I keep showing you guys. It's because it's the most iconic bass guitar around. It's the Fender Precision bass. The first one was put out in the mid 50s. It doesn't look the same as that, but by 1958 they had changed to that design, and the only difference between mine and a late 50s one is that it has an extra string, right? I love looking at it, and like, that is the bass that has filled at the low end on the majority of the recordings before like 1980. In the mid to late 60s, the jazz bass started to really take over in a big way. That's why James Jamerson died a pauper, because he wasn't moving with the times, right? Like, everyone else was using jazz basses with round wound strings, and he was still stuck with his precision bass and flat wound strings. He says, "No, sir," and he stopped getting work because of it. But the whole Motown sound is based on that bass. The earliest of the funk and disco pretty early switched over to like Music Man, active basses, or the jazz bass. This is boring. I find this stuff fascinating, but this is boring. Sorry. Why did I? Oh yeah, because it's an iconic mic. It hasn't changed largely in decades. I'm just seeing because I saw Beto. There he is. How you doing, Beto? How's the weather down there? Yeah, up here it's sweaty. It's damn sweaty. Durn Burnett is sure be sweaty. Beto, by the way, is a channel hero at the moment, which is nice to see. Wow, it wasn't 37 here today, but it was 30, I believe, at one point. I wrote it down in my 5-year journal. I always start the day off by putting today's weather or expected weather in my fudge in my journal. I don't know why, but it's a good way to start. Like, it marks the page, and that helps my headspace when I sit down to mark the page more at the end of the day. David says, "I get the road hour to do my dirty work." Fair enough, as long as somebody is. Okay, so there was an ad at 9:07. I am 10 minutes late. I'm gonna try to catch up. I don't want to miss anyone. That's the thing. That's weird. Mark got an ad, but it froze up, and he had to close and reopen YouTube. Excuse me. I don't love that. Look, the technology is weird, right? Destiny in the house. Grace in the house. How you doing, Grace? How is the Grace tonight? Grace, by the way, is also a channel hero right now. So nice. So good. This is new, says Russell, but I'm not sure what he's referring to. I just don't know. Unless he's talking about the weather. I'm just taking a look. Who's with us? We're good? Oh, look at that. Jim saying, see y'all in 30 minutes or so. That's okay. Well, he said that 5 minutes ago. So we'll see you in 25 minutes, Jim. You'll probably have something cool to say. You always have something. So it looks like I've said hi to everyone. So I'm just sort of trying to skip down just a little goddamn bit. Oh, hike with Mike in the house. I hope you're not sweating too much, Mr. Mike. Hope it's not. And obviously, I also hope you're not being swept out to sea by a hurricane or anything anytime soon. Is this hurricane season? Maybe I'm getting that wrong. I thought this was sort of the season, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't own a weather satellite or anything. But Shawnee says, by the way, hi, Shawnee. Shawnee is a channel hero, by the way. She says, too hot for me. The rain tomorrow will bring it back to normal. Man, we had a stankin' hot day, and then we had a thunderstorm, like a vrai comme orage there, a big ass thunderstorm, and then it was cool for about 30 seconds, and then it just went back to being like sweaty and hot. Like, great. That's just perfect. Where Destiny is, it's been cool and rainy the last 2 days. Today's high was 17. Wow. That's not summer weather. I mean, I was gonna say that's a little cool even for me, but no, I'd rock that. I'd rock that for sure. Grace says hurricane season is roughly May to November. Okay, so yeah, we're in it. Mike says, yes, hurricane season, and a system is in the Gulf moving towards Louisiana, but probably just a tropical storm. Just a tropical storm. Those can still be nasty, though, right? I mean, sorry. I was wondering if that was something important, and it's not. It was not important. Was mowing the lawn when what? Destiny says, was mowing the lawn when the rain and thunder hit. Just kept on mowing as there was just a bit more left. Fair enough. I would like another thunderstorm right about now. I mean, not right now, because then it might knock out the power, and then I would be like offline, and then I wouldn't be live streaming, and then we wouldn't be chitty McChatting. So, but maybe tomorrow at around noon, or when it's the hottest part of the day, just rain. For God's sake, please, just rain. Hike with Mike says it's producing lots of rain here. Got to hike in the rain. I do like the rain. A hurricane would be bad for most gardens, I believe, Russell. I don't think you have to worry about it, though. I'm kind of thinking that a hurricane where you live would be a rare occurrence. Ahem. Destiny says that 16 to 17 is her heaven. I guess I can go up to around 21, 22, like between 17 and 22, I guess. At 24, I'm like, really? Russell says, we never get any fun events here. No hurricanes, no earthquakes, no volcanoes, no giant monsters, nothing. Well, when I was young, I mean, I think I told you guys I used to live in Winnipeg, and in the time I was there, we had a plague of locusts. We had a drought. We had a tornado. I sort of half jokingly say that the license plate says "Friendly Manitoba" because the gods keep reminding them of their humility. It was like, oh my God. And there was a flood. Very biblical. Christy says, no yawning yet. So tired from the heat, just makes me sleepy. Yeah, no, oh yeah. Oh, no, yeah. Yeah, I've been yawning all day. I'm done. I'm so done. I'm wrecked. Oh, I have a bottle of rum sitting on this desk. Original Añejo 3 años, aged 3 years. Vieilli 3 ans, which is like, I don't know what the rules are for rum, but for whiskey, 3 year, not bourbon necessarily, but 3 years is the minimum you need in order to call it whiskey. I don't know if that's the same in rum. I don't think so. Havana Club Original is a white Cuban rum, smooth and balanced, aged naturally for 3 years to reveal its typical color and an intense aroma. Its complex flavor has established it as the ideal rum for cocktails in Cuba, such as the mojito or the daiquiri. Havana Club International, La Havana, Cuba. I use this for cocktails that call for like a light rum or a white rum. I just use this. It's delicious. Works in almost anything. Over here, I have a whiskey. You have anything else? I had a tequila around here. No, I put it away. Oh, I have another whiskey. Maybe I'll have this tonight. Water's a good drink. I get really distracted. Like, I glitch a lot. I could be talking about camping, and then suddenly I'm describing like the workings of a piston fountain pen or something. You know, piston ones are cool because neurodivergence is not fun, people. It's shit. Mike says, ironically, living in Florida for 45 years, the only time I had a direct hit with a hurricane was when I lived on Long Island in 1976. I will tell you something else. A hurricane hit New York a few years ago. And so my, whatever you call them, cousin-in-laws or whatever, there's one and his wife are in like Brooklyn, a couple more in Queens or whatever. But my wife's aunt and uncle, they had a place on Long Island in Freeport, which got utterly wrecked. And so they all started like after the hurricane, in order to it was strongly suggested by everyone's insurance companies that they put their houses up on stilts. So like all these people were like, it's big money to take a house and put it on like raise it like 9 feet in the air, whatever the hell it was. And my wife's aunt and uncle they were like, you know what? Nope. They just sold and they moved to Florida. I mean, they retired. They retired, so they moved down to Florida. But because they just saw what their neighbors were spending to put these houses up on stilts, and they're like, nope. The house is too big. Our kids have all moved out. We're retired. We're empty nesting. Sell the place, and retire down south. And I could see the desire to move away from a place that got hit by a hurricane when, I mean, we're saying that because of global warming and everything, the once in a century storms suddenly become once every few years and everything. But I think I probably would have moved further inland. You know what I'm saying? Like to Wyoming or something. But anyways. You forgot about the Derek show? Derrico? but that was a few years ago. I didn't even know that word until that thing struck. Like, I'd never heard of that. Like, I'd heard of a microburst and all that stuff, but I'd never heard of that word before. Destiny says to Mike, that is ironic. Ironic, just like a line. There's no irony in that song. That's the weirdest thing about that, is that, like, she's, isn't it ironic? Like a non-ironic thing. Like, Alanis, we may have to talk about your songwriting. Destiny says, one summer at the Faculté Saint-Jean in Edmonton, we had such a lovely thunderstorm. All that ozone petrichor, haven't experienced that since. I love that smell. I love the way my garden smells after, or let's face it, if the rain is light enough, during the rain. I love that earthy, loamy smell, especially if whatever rain has come sort of broke the heat of the day and sort of cooled it down. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So nice. David is asking Destiny if she's at the hubby to the store to get snacks again this week. But no, he was prepared for tonight's live. He learned his lesson. I love it. What are the snacks tonight, Destiny? What are you having? Christy says, has anyone on here been to the Grand Canyon? The historic hotel on the North Rim burnt to the ground. It sure did. During they have 2 wildfires going on there right now. Yeah, so it's too bad to see that thing go, for sure. I've only seen that in pictures, because I didn't go to the North Rim when I was there. Christy, you've seen my video of going to the Grand Canyon, right? You've seen my 3-video series about going to the Southwest, right? Right? Do I have to put a link to that playlist just to make sure? Just to make sure that Christy has seen those videos? Like, do I have to right now go to my playlists list and look through, go all the way down, hiking and nature walks, father-daughter time, reviews and such, mail call, tech stuff, click to another page, lanterns, tools, paddling, quiet moments. I should rewatch the quiet moments videos. Calm the savage beast. The fire, bushcraft and outdoors, cocktails. I got to redo those cocktails. Should I do, like, for those of you who are members, which is like almost everyone here, should I do a live stream where I sort of respec at least one of, like, maybe do a live stream per bushcrafty cocktail and respec the cocktails with you guys? Would that, is there any interest in that? General bushcraft and fun, bushcraft cooking, Ontario Backwoods 2022. That's when I went to squat on Russell's land. Such good memories. Such a great time. Gift guides. I'm glad I don't do the gift guides anymore. They were a lot of work, and I don't feel that they're useful. Okanagan 2022. That was fun too. Flora and fauna, plant IDs. I should do some more plant IDs. Outdoors interview series. That's those interviews I do here Tuesday nights when I'm not too scared to do them. Carving, recipes, and other non-bush stuff. What? Oh, that's where I have my jambalaya recipe and my Corpse Reviver number blue recipe. Getting fit for the Southwest hike vlogs. Like, do I have to actually grab this link and drop it in the side chat like this, and then hit enter so that it shows up, to make sure that Christy has seen my videos of Arizona and like 30 seconds of Nevada? Is that what I needed to do, Christy? I think I did. Oh no, everything jumped. Hold on. Peanut Tricker says our last hurricane was Michael in 2018, Cat 5. That can kick the crap out of an area. Apparently, Justin says that hurricane-proof house that Mike Holmes helped build down south was awesome. Has it stood up to the claims? Round houses tend to be hurricane-proof because they don't show a flat face to oncoming winds. The wind sort of, so I mean, they don't get through completely unscathed, but the damage on round or octagonal houses is much lower. How do we know this? There was decades ago a craze of building round or octagonal houses in the United States. There aren't many of them left, but the ones that were built do stand up very well to heavy winds and that kind of stuff. I see. This is Peanut Trucker saying we haven't, but we may one day. It's epic. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, that hotel. That's too bad. No, it's a wildfire. Destiny. They've got 2 wildfires burning the North Rim right now, or burning near the North Rim. There's one like that's literally burning on the North Rim. That's the Dragon Chromes. I don't remember what either of them are called. Peanut Trucker likes Mike Holmes. I don't know what Christy is trying to say here. Fired fries. Is that barbecued fries? I'm just making stuff up at this point. Destiny. Oh, okay. What Destiny's talking about was in New Orleans. Okay, I do not know. Hike with Mike says, not to go way off topic, but Jagged Little Pill CD is the best 90s album in your opinion, and this coming from a 1980s metalhead guy. I heard, excuse me, sorry, I should have muted that. I heard an argument by what's his name? It's a long name. He used to be on like Much Music and then the CBC, and his name is just hold on a second. Let me look him up. What's his name? Oh, what the hell's his name? These robbers stole the globe. What's his name? Destiny. Thank you, George Strombolopoulos. He made an argument. He posits that one of the best albums of its era is the soundtrack to what was that movie called? I saw it and I liked it, but it won't go down as one of my favorite movies, that's for sure. I am absolutely not on my game tonight. I am glitching on everything. What's it called? Singles. He says the soundtrack to Singles, and he sort of runs down like how many utter legends of sort of the Seattle and grunge scene are on that. Some of them before they were big, really. You know, you got like all these seminal names, and he's right. If you're into that kind of music, it's a very solid album. It's not an era in American music that I like very much. I was in the sort of that. I was into that scene kind of early, but never fully. Like Screaming Trees, bands like that. Oh, Chrissy was trying to say fires. Okay. But yeah, it's too bad when a hotel that old disappears, because that's like Americana, right? Well, maybe it's not that old, but it's a piece of history. Destiny says we have snacky charcuterie, all categories represented: chips, pretzels, chocolate, nuts, cheese, crackers, fruit. You get the idea. Just a few of each, but still yum. Yeah, that works. I'd be okay with that for sure. Christy says, yes, I should redo those. Yeah, I should respec them. Country Boy says it's hard to participate when you're eating chicken wings. Eat your wings. I know you're here. You don't have to say anything. Just sit back and listen. Destiny is, what kind of sauce? Hike with Mike always uses something called Texas Pete as his wing sauce. Is that like a spicy or is it a smoky? I guess Texas is probably like a barbecue. Deep fried wings sprinkled with salt and pepper and dipping in smoked peach and habanero hot sauce. I know that sauce. I think it's a sauce from BC. Yeah, I don't know where Marcus is tonight. Maybe he's working. Peanut truck had just passed into California. Thank you, Destiny. George Strombolopoulos. I gotta say something about that guy. I like him so much more now than I did back when he was like a young Turk on the air and stuff, like, because I think that he has matured into his bottomless well of cultural knowledge of Canadiana and of especially music and videos, because he no longer comes off as sort of this pretentious muso. Now he comes off almost professorial, and his mannerism hasn't changed. It's just he suits it more now. Because I've always been impressed by the depth of his knowledge and his obvious hyperintelligence. But when he was a young guy on the air, I think he started at Much Music and then moved to the CBC, and now he's got his own thing. When he was on Much, he rubbed me the wrong way. Like he was always sort of he rubbed me the wrong way. But now I really buy into it a lot more. He puts a lot of thought into everything he said. No, he brings a lot of knowledge to what he says, because he can be talking to the camera and just reach onto his like wall of records and be like, yeah, there it is, and pull something out and talk about it, and he doesn't have a wall of vinyl because he's a hipster and it's this new, everything old is new again. No, he's had the vinyl since day one. And he pulls the soundtrack to singles off the wall, and it's scuffed and it's used, and he's listened to it a million times. Yeah, really like that guy. Hey, look at that, Carol. How you doing? How's it going? Hope the weather's good where you are. You're not having floods or hurricanes or droughts or anything. It's a weird old world we're living in. Blues Brothers was a terrific film. Absolutely, the first one. Very good, and the music was epic. It was a hilarious movie. Kind of film you just can't really make anymore. It would just come off as stupid now. But lightning in a bottle. And the musicians they had on that, holy crap. I should watch that again someday. Christy is a huge fan of the music that Adam Sandler puts in his movies. He's a guy who knows music too, clearly. Yeah. Just everyone's saying hi, so I'm. Russell doesn't know who George Stroumboulopoulos is. Oh wait, now Jim is driving home. I thought you were driving home like 30 minutes ago. Destiny says that George's red chair interviews were iconic. Now he interviews out of his house. Interesting, different vibe for sure. Well, here's the thing. He's not like, look, these guys get sort of shifted out when they become too expensive, right? I mean, he's running his own show now, essentially. I don't know if I'm putting that right, but like, you know, he's got a different thing happening, but the interviews are still very good. He still asks very sharp questions. Sorry, I just got a text. Oh, that was hilarious, but I can't show it to you guys. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the red chair interviews. But you know, it's just he's in a different phase now. Like he's sort of more of a senior personality now than sort of this hep, edgy young guy. But yeah, it's definitely a different vibe for sure. Christy says, I thought he was on Good Morning America. No, that's George. Step up, not different guy. Peanut Chucker got a white chip macadamia nut cookie from Subway. Now, the reason I don't eat macadamia nut cookies is two. One, I don't love macadamias, but two, wait, I just glitched. The reason I don't eat macadamia nut cookies is twofold. First, don't love macadamias. Second, I do not like white chocolate. But I have definitely gotten the Subway macadamia nut cookie on occasion when they're out of everything else and I don't want a bag of chips with my trio. So it's not a hard and fast rule. Hike with Mike says, I'm not a big fan of hipsters. Not me neither. But you know, I was over them before it was cool. Carol says in Virginia, we're having flash floods and power outages. Not a good evening. Nope, that's for sure. I hope you're doing okay. I hope your house isn't flooded and I hope you're safe. Jim says, speaking of music, my wife was listening to Neil Diamond the other day and she played a song of his and it sounded so wrong. Really? Which song? Which song was that? What song was that? Kevin Callan is a massive fan of Neil Diamond's, and he would say that none of his songs were wrong. Well, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but this was like Sweet Caroline, which we've played over and over and over again. The crowd always goes wild, but we're just so over it. Oh, I get it. You wanted rum on the rocks. It all becomes clear, Jim. Carol's looking for a power source. Yeah. Good luck. There's probably a million people looking for a power source right now. Watch out for price gouging if you're buying a generator. Russell has never heard of George. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, he even lives in the same province as you. I mean, he's a large part of Canadian on-air culture, but it's okay. I mean, you live in the forest. No white chocolate. I agree with Russell. Jim is being hilarious. There are like 10 million people in this province. I don't know them all yet. It's okay. He doesn't know you either. Like with Mike was more of a Motley Crue guy. I can handle some Neil Diamond. I can handle some a little Jethro Tull. I can handle some, Gordon Lightfoot. Uh, you know, little Beastie Boys. Could do some Bruce Coburn. Maybe some Matthew Good. A lot of Spirit of the West. A little bit of The Cure. Some Great Big Sea. A lot of Paul Simon. The tea is finished. Destiny is asking, Beto, what kind of music is popular in Brazil? Russell says, oh, wait, it was Christy now who was listening to Neil Diamond and finally discovered where Pack Up Your Babies and Grab Your Old Ladies came from. Oh, there we go. Homie in the house. How you doing? How are you doing? Man, one day you're going to pop in and I'm going to say, I bought a new knife. I'm going to show you one of the dream knives. You know what? I should write them down. One I will never be able to get, as you guys know, the Jacklore, because he doesn't sell outside the UK anymore. And like at 600 pounds sterling with the exchange and the shipping, it would be like a $1,200 knife. Dreamy, but no. Oh, and he doesn't do customs anymore. Like he's sort of, I mean, he's getting up there in age, so he's dropping it back a little. I shall write down 2 or 3 dream knives as a way of manifesting it. Let's run a little quiz. Okay? You will be graded on this. Mike, so did I. Really recently, not their last tour, but the one before, like whatever it was, like 7 years ago or whatever that was. They were one of those bands where I was at ease with the fact that I had missed the boat because I thought I was never going to get to see them. And then my fiddler for my birthday sent me and my wife tickets, and good tickets, to the show here in Montreal. And I went, and some of you guys know what The Cure means to me. I don't like everything they did, especially like much later albums, but that was the soundtrack of my youth. And I still listen to all those old songs and I still love them. And I was standing there and I was just weeping at one point, just weeping from joy. And what I noticed, I think I've said this to you guys, if I bore you, it's my live stream and I'll be over it very, very soon. It was all these like guys around my age, balding or bald or whatever, and like maybe a flannel shirt over like an old band t-shirt or whatever. And then like their teenage daughter who was in like the torn fishnets and stuff that when we were that age, our girlfriends were all wearing. We were all wearing like the dark trench coat and the messed up hair and I have never seen a band as generous with their encores as The Cure, because they went off. It was like encore. They came back on and they played like another half hour of music. Tie the evening in a bow. Absolutely killer concert. Absolutely killer concert. Pictures of You is one of the saddest songs I ever heard. And of course, it was a Cure song. Yeah, Pictures of You. Classic. Absolutely. I never quite understood Charlotte Sometimes, but I still loved it. I mean, if I listened to it again with sort of some time behind me, I'd probably get it. But yeah. And I think they've got a new album out. I'll check that on Apple Music a little bit later. But yeah, I think they've got a new album out. And I never got to see Susie and the Banshees, but I saw, what was the name of the band that was just Susie and what was their percussionist called? Budgie. What was that band called? I saw them because I was like, I missed Susie and the Banshees. I'm not missing this. Yeah. The first Cure song I ever heard, I think, was Boys Don't Cry. I think that a lot of people had that experience. I'm wondering if I should just look up the Cure for to get a little information about them. I mean, I'm looking at a browser window and like, do I have the energy to type? Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we used to play one of their songs. Which one was it? But we were the only ones enjoying it. I think we were the only ones who got it. Anyway, I mean, Beto says currently there's a mixture of funk and sertanejo, but with a frightening lack of. Am I getting the J sound right on that, Beto? Is it a huh like in Spanish? Or is it my better? Russell says his wife is a fan of The Cure. Toto. Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel is another artist that I will be inconsolable when he passes. Absolutely. Disney says that Brazilian country sounds unique. Yeah, I'm going to look it up afterwards. Chrissy's not a Phil Collins fan. I don't think I am either, but I respect him. He tried to keep Genesis going for as long as he could after Peter Gabriel left. I mean, it wasn't the same band at all, but he was really working it, you know. Do I like him better as a solo artist or back in the Genesis days? That's an interesting question. I think yeah, I'm not sure, but he really he did his best. He can't play the drums anymore because his back is all messed up, which is too bad. I think. Oh wait, hold on. It's a bit reminiscent of American country, but with local particularities. Interesting. Wait, let me look. What was the word for it? Certainier. Oh, I'm just going to copy this and paste it into a window for later. For some, it is the folk music of São Paulo, which emerged during the Brazilian colonial period. For others, well, anyways, I'll look it up later, so I'm not boring you peeps. You fine peeps. It's like when Jesse gives us notes on his drinks. Speaking of drinks, If anyone else has a whiskey, crack it open. Did you hear that pop? There was no pop. Hold on, Destiny, I gotta get you off screen for a second. That pop was disappointing. Ting! $21.59. One day, CJ and I are going to look up what studio means. Maybe spend the evening on it. If I remember correctly, he was trying to ask directions to the studio, and he stammered, and that's where that came from. If I remember correctly, feel free to look it up and tell me if I'm wrong. Christy will ask Alexa tomorrow to play Brazilian country. Like with Mike, his high school band did a lot of Def Leppard, Judas Priest, and Zeppelin songs. Good times. I would love to be able to play you guys what the metal band I was in as a youngster played, but I only have it on, I think, tape somewhere. So good. Did I pour? I was late on it because I didn't see your question until just now. Oh, actually, I poured on at that minute. Sorry, man. No, the evening is not ruined. You now have to tell me if I was right or not. Okay. If I did, I'm deeply sorry. I feel terrible. Clearly, I empathize with disappointment because that's all I ever feel. Okay. Yeah, you sent that as I grabbed the bottle. Yeah, I saw that the synchronicity when I saw the time at which you posted that question. Spicy oak, big vanilla, so American oak, touch of a caramel. What is that Americans call caramel? Caramel. It's like caramel, but you got a cold. Yeah. Yeah, and now they're all deteriorating. Yeah. I wonder if I have anything here. You know? Well, there's Squid Jigger, which is my current band, and has been for like 22 years. But like this drawer next to my desk is like a catch-all, and every now and again I'm digging through it and looking for stuff, and I find like, oh, a bag of coins. You know? Or oh, the demo tape of a band I was in after the metal band and before Squid Jigger called Spam Yang. I should find a tape player somewhere just to hear this. Yeah, I'm not going to find it. But anyways, yeah, everything was on tape back then. Paulo Fernandez is an example of one of the variations within the Sertanejo. Sertanejo? Hmm. You're rambling, so I thought you forgot. Maybe we should call this channel Ramblings with Jess. It's, if I don't write down, if I don't have a specific theme, I just knowing why I get distracted so easily and like my train of thought goes off the rails doesn't make it any less frustrating. Oh, I got pictures from Omar. No, it's not Omar. Oh, it's Homie. Homie sent me pictures. Hold on. Let me. Is this new? Homie? I shall hide your name. Yep. Tabernacle. Go away, Siri. Jesus. Jesus. Wait, let me just. Country Boy says bottling down the black bourbon. Whoa. A demo tape. It's literally a demo tape. Homie, is this stuff that you've recently bought? I shall hide your name. Yes, we're good. We're good. My God. Wait, let me turn down the screen a little bit. How big is that? That looks like, is that like a 7-inch? That one kind of looks like a machete or well, I mean, it's not quite that long, or like a kukri or something. Oof. Guys, get a load of this. That looks like the world's longest buck knife. Oh, wow. Look at this one, though. That one I like. Ooh, yeah, I like that one. Tell me about that last one. Yes, the last two big knives that you're buying. Oh, like as in you're not buying big knives anymore, or as in the last two are the ones that you're buying, or the two most recent that you're buying. Chris says we all ramble here. It's not a bad thing. You got kicked? Why'd you get kicked? What happened? Why you get kicked, man? What's up with that? No kicking around here. Beto says my preferences are more pop rock style. Lito Santos, Guillermo Arantes, Jaime, 14 Biz, all older musicians. I don't know a whole lot about Brazilian music. I have a friend who is living in, I think, Sao Paulo, and she plays the Hammond organ. I mean, she's plays other instruments as well, but I knew her mostly as a Hammond organ player, like in the jazz scene. I think she's teaching music at a school down there right now. But yeah. That last one is made in Japan. Man, that last one really got me. I like that one. That one's probably expensive as hell, though. I don't think it's a paring knife, Carol. It looks a little big for a paring knife. It's amazing. Convex on one, flat on the other. That's a Japanese knife, then, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and Christy's telling Country Boy to enjoy that last bit of that black bourbon. You're a whole lot closer to them than I am. Like, you can probably buy yourself one and have it shipped to you for less than I can. Oh, advert. Everyone has an ad? Country Boy says it's only an 8-hour return trip to get more. I'll be buying a case when I drive there. Yeah, absolutely. I think I would support that for sure. Destiny did not get an ad. Peanut Trucker says, hold on. Trucker says, getting some Japanese knives and learning Japanese cooking, just can't get the language down yet. That's what Duolingo is for. I would love a killer set of Japanese knives, but not living in this house. I'm the only one who washes a knife, dries a knife, puts it away. Everyone else just puts them in the rack, and you can't do that with these Japanese knives because it dulls your knives, and then you're, sharpening a high-end knife, and every time you sharpen, you remove some metal, right? You want to strop. You want to sharpen as little as possible. But yeah, a nice set of Japanese knives. Hell yeah. I even have a knife set picked out for no reason. It's just I like looking at it and thinking someday. You found them on eBay. Nice. David says, I guess when the interprovincial trade barriers are gone, you can buy Albertan whiskeys in the SAQ. I'm not sure how it's going to work. One of the things that is for sure about when those trade barriers come down is that you'll be able to essentially order booze direct from any distillery in Canada, and they'll all ship, or any store in Canada, and they'll all ship. Right now, not everyone does because it's not really legal. But I don't know if we'll start seeing a whole lot of Albertan stuff or British Columbia whiskey or whatever in the SAQ. I don't know. I would love to. I think that would be a step in the right direction for sure, because then I wouldn't have to pay $20 shipping a bottle. Mark has to, Mark, the ad won't start again, so I'm stuck. Oh, just restart your browser, I guess. Country Boy says, onto Peanut Trucker. I love Japanese cooking. I make my own sushi and rolls and gyoza. I have yet to try any Japanese cooking. I love the flavors. For me, sushi has to be vegetarian, but I still love the flavors. I mean, the flavors are still there. It's just I don't get the fish flavors. I should close that drawer. Woo! Oops. There we go. Drawer closed. Problem solved. Oops. I'm just waiting for this Raspberry Rock comment to boom. There it is. We've made sushi. It doesn't look as good as the sushi restaurant stuff, but it's still really good. For all that I've heard how difficult it is to learn to make sushi, it doesn't seem that hard. No, the hardest part of making sushi is making sure that your fish is treated properly. I don't mean coddled and not killed. I mean, you can't just like thaw your fish and leave it in the fridge for a week without being in danger, shall we say. Peanut Trucker, I'm obsessed with watching Japanese cooking on YouTube and how fresh everything is. No processed junk food like we have. Yeah, so I obsess over watching Japanese bartenders because it's a very distinct tradition, a very distinct style. But ja like watching like a real skilled Japanese cook, you see like the same quality of movement. You're absolutely right about the freshness. I mean, look, American food is famous for being practically non-food. We're not that much better here. I mean, in terms of our restaurants, like we have fast food crap all over the place as well, you know. But I do love, like you, I love watching um, a meal come together from a tradition where everything is fresh. I try when I'm making supper to do that, to have as few canned things. I mean, a can of tomatoes or something, yeah. But like, if I'm making a cream sauce, I'm not throwing a cream of mushroom soup into the pot and basing it on that, right? I'm going to start with a roux and build from there. Not because I'm a snob, but because I enjoy the process of making a cream sauce and knowing that I can pronounce everything in it. Um, Country Boy is saying, I can't have California rolls. The only seafood in there is artificial crab, which is usually haddock, a white fish. Okay, so the reason I can't is not because of the haddock or the whatever goberge is. It's because of cross contamination. Like we go to one sushi, we order from one sushi place because they know to use, like to use a different knife or to wash the knife in between, not use the same part of the cutting board. Package the veggie stuff in a separate container, right? Don't let them touch. And that's why, like, even though I'm not allergic to all the fish used in sushi, like the goberge, but haddock, I, because of cross contamination, I just can't do it. Just can't. If I have the time, look up Planeta Terra, Linda Juventude by 14 Bis, and you will see the type of music that was made here in the late 70s, 80s until the mid 90s. Not a lot of double letters in Portuguese, eh? I'm just like I'm just looking up some some of the songs so I can listen to them later. There you go. Okay. All right. I'll give that a listen a little bit later. Oh my God, it's hot in here. For you, the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s were for you the most interesting period musically. Each of those periods are very, very different in terms of just straight up pop music. But yeah, I for my personal tastes in popular music, I feel that the 90s are very much a black hole. But even then, there was some stuff coming out in the 90s that I loved. I was going to write down my dream knives as a way of manifesting. So I will write down. Who can tell me what one of the knives I always talk about is, not including the jacklore, because I just it's an impossibility unless I fly to the UK in time to grab one of the knives off his website before someone else does. Um, Christy, I thought he could eat white fish, just not oily fish. Like, yeah, exactly. I can eat I can eat white fish. I can eat the boring fish, but if the person uses the knife on like whatever, anything with salmon or something, and then makes the um the California roll, then you know I don't carry an EpiPen. I don't carry an EpiPen, much to the missus's epic chagrin. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go buying a whole bunch of knives, that's for sure. But if I write them all down, maybe I'll win the lottery and I'll be able to afford all three of them. And then I'll fly to the UK and get a Jackflower. So I shall write down. Let me check something before I go writing all these down. Yeah, you see, when I first started talking, I mean, nobody answered my question. Nobody cares about my questions. Everyone's all too busy being fabulous, right? But I think the pinnacle is the hellatomogamy. And when I first said, when money is better, I'm going to buy that, the knife was $185 Canadian. Now, if I want that knife, say laminated carbon steel, it's 275 Canadian dollars. And stainless, 267. Like this is what this is what I mean when I sort of say to you guys sometimes, like, whenever I say I'm going to buy something when the money gets better, the money never gets better enough to catch up. It's because it's almost 100% more, you know? It's almost 100% more. I still want it, but my finances are better than they were the first time I noticed that knife and thought, "Ooh, but $185." But that's a big upcharge. It's a big, big upcharge. I'm still writing it down. I'm still going to try to manifest it. What do you guys think? Stainless or carbon? I know that we've had this conversation before. I'm going to post it so you guys can take a look and want one for yourselves. Yeah, you know what? Let me put it on screen. I mean, we haven't done knife content in a long time, so let's just take a look at it together. And I will remember how the hell to do it. Okay. So I've done the first step, which should be all the steps, but now I shall do the second step that I don't feel that I should have to do. All right. So 267 for the stainless. My steel people out there, that's a pretty good stainless, right? Like I know carbon steel better than I know stainless. Why do I like this knife so much? Aside from the fact that it's gorgeous and has the curly birch handle, well, it's because oh, okay, it's not showing it, but it's got I would say like what's called a half tang. So it's full tang, but it doesn't go all the way to the bottom here. Like so at the top you'll see a metal strip because it's the tang, and then it'll come down the back and then it'll stop a bit there. And the reason for that is because excuse me, I'm going to burp. The reason for that is because this knife is designed with northern countries in mind. So it's January, and if you're like me, um, you don't you don't wear gloves when you're operating heavy machinery. By which I mean bushcraft knives or axes. So because the metal tang doesn't come all the way here, say you're wearing those, those mitt things where you take the mitt and you bend it back and you've got like little half gloves. Well, it means you can hold the knife because the metal tang is covered by your little half glove or whatever, but your fingers, because that's the thing. I need my fingers to be able to grip your finger, and I wouldn't even wear these with an axe. Your fingers are not touching metal because the tang doesn't go all the way to the bottom. Like this curve is not echoed by a metal tang. The tang is only halfway down. Fabulous design element for someone who lives in a winter wonderland. So the stainless, the 14C28N stainless is 267, which is just blinding compared to, and the H3LC laminated carbon is 275. I would probably do the carbon even though it's more expensive. I'm just so into carbon. This design has been updated since I first decided I wanted this knife. It's not a huge update. It's just they took the jimping off. Did they take the jimping off both? Yeah. This picture, I believe, is the stainless. Hold on. Made in Norway, 14. Anyways, I just love it. I wish it had mosaic pins. I mean, but mosaic pins is that's a custom knife thing. So I would put that down. I'm writing it into my book as a way of manifesting. All right, I have now manifested it. The handle. Hold on. David says, if I want a knife from the UK, yeah, no. The problem is, A, I can't afford one right now. B, like as soon as Sandy Jack says the knives are up, you have to jump on his website then, right there, or someone else will, because he only puts up like 2 at a time because he's really pulled back on production. And I'm in a Canadian time zone, so it's like I would love to. I would love to be in the position to do that. Homie says both. I I can't even afford one of them, let alone both of them. But if I win the lottery, yeah, absolutely. Sure, why not, right? One in the summer, one in the winter. Country boy agrees. No, we're not doing that kind of peer pressure thing. Mark, the handle is it's curly birch. It's a curly birch handle. I mean, this knife is straight up Nordic, through and through. Guys, I'm gonna have a little bit more whiskey. I'm gonna have a bit more. Oh, you full tank blood. Oh yeah, wrapped in a curly birch handle. Yeah, I see it. Um, hold on a second here. It says here the blade is available in 3 steel options: triple laminated H3LS stainless. Okay, triple laminated H3LC carbon, or Alema 14C28N stainless with a 90-degree sharpened spine. That's a key because I find that a lot of stainless knives don't have the spine that you need for. So between the two stainlesses, I would take the 14CN, but I think that they only have 2 options, and one of them is that 14C28N. So they probably discovered that nobody's buying the other stainless. That would be a yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna write down or stainless or the Alema 14CN28N or 14C28N stainless because that one has the spine. manifesting. Here's it. I can have the knife shipped to your sisters. You will pick it up there. Man, I wish I had time to plan that. No. Wait. Maybe they have them at. What is that knife called? Yeah, Destiny, I agree. It's a great offer. If I was in the position to buy the knife, I would do it. I would absolutely do it. I don't have money right now. That's a terrible thing to say. I do have money. I'm not a poor kid. I'm just paying for 3 different therapies at once. I was about to say something and I just glitched. Did I pour the whiskey? No, I said I was going to pour whiskey. Then I didn't pour the whiskey. So what do you guys think? Should I have the same Lindors, or should I have a little bit of this peaty magic, this Lagavulin 11-year charred oak cask? This is a Nick Offerman edition. I've told you guys about that before. Love that. I am trying to find a Lars Felt knife. Boom. Okay. So this knife is exactly the same, except worse, because the Lars Felt knife, so the reason I love this Lars Felt knife, like you guys would not believe, is because it hits. I'm going to say this carefully. The Jacklore is a straight up custom knife through and through. Beautiful workmanship, absolutely gorgeous workmanship. The standard Jacklore knife, like the standard model, is a Woodler clone through and through. This Lars Felt knife is not a custom knife. But what it is so the reason it's called the Lars Felt knife is because it was designed like Lars Felt sort of designed it with them. Okay, but it's very very similar to a Woodlore as well. It's almost a Woodlore clone. So it's a shape I love. I don't know if it's really got the Coke. Yeah, it's got sort of the Coke bottle handles on it. Full tang blade. This, I believe, only comes in a high carbon steel. And again, of course, because Scandinavia, right? So it's a curly birch handle. So knife only, $269. Knife and fire striker, which is out of stock, but it doesn't matter because I'm not in a position to buy it tonight anyway. $307.75. But I would take it with the matching fire striker for sure. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? So I will write down Lars Felt knife with matching fire striker. So that's by Castrom. Lars Felt. I put the accent on the wrong A. Knife with fire striker. Fire striker is not. That's a translation error for sure. Raspberry likes that knife. You talking about the Lars Felt? And I would love to take a class from Lars Felt. I mean, he's still around. To me, like moments, like my most memorable Lars Felt moment is when he sort of paddled into a Ray Mears video, sort of when Ray Mears was camping in Sweden. I'm going to rewatch that series, and he brought Ray like a salmon and said, "I will give you this salmon if you will show me how the Native Americans cook it." Um, but yeah, I love that knife. Absolutely love that knife. For the last two, oh, they've changed their website. View the old website. No, I just want to love the newness. Medium fixed blade knives. Is anyone saying stuff? No. Did I pour my whiskey? Guys, you gotta tell me. Did anyone say which one I should pour? I'm pouring the Nick Offerman. It's just a legendary pour. I liked it so much I bought another bottle immediately. Because every year he changes it up. Like this is the charred oak. I bought the next one as well, but I haven't opened it yet. Whatever it is, it's like a Caribbean cask, I think. Oh fucking me, that is. It's peaty. It's also got like a barbecue smoke kind of thing. There's an ash note, bit of tar, but none of the band-aid that a lot of peated whiskeys give you. A little touch. There's always like a little touch, but it's not overpowering. It's not disgusting the way it is with like Lafroig. That really is a good offer from David. I really deeply wish I could make the ducks line up on a Jack Lore. Absolutely. Fudge. There's 453 knives. We'll see. We'll see. And knives are so much more expensive than they used to be. Like, ever since the damned pandemic, everything has gone way, way high. Except these BPS, they're still probably the best bang for the buck, man. They really are. Is anyone finding this nearly as interesting as I am? I love looking at this stuff. I try not to do it every week because I don't want to bore people. Like, there's a Bark River Gunny in orange G10. I mean, Bark River Gunny is that's a pretty iconic knife, you know? Bushcrafter LT, nice. David says knives are cheaper when you buy them after midnight. There you go. More knives, 511 green carbon, $16.99. Again, Mora's for the excellent bang for the buck. I'm looking. There we go. A Nessmuk, but I don't want my Carta. I don't want my Carta. I want like a curly birch handle or something. Man, Falkneven really gets me where I live. I think they're really cool. I don't want all of them, but Country Boy loves the Knifes, as do I. As do I. Like, I don't want to have like 400 knives though, right? There's a Joker Nessmuk in walnut, flat with a fire steel. I don't like that Nessmuk shape though. I want like sort of what we consider to be the traditional Nessmuk shape. That's what I want. Oh, look at that. And a Kephart. What do you guys think? Is this Breeze the Kephart to get? Or is it what's that company, like they make the marine knife? They make a Kephart that seems to be, oh look, there it is. Boom. Brisa Nessmuk curly birch. Look at that. That's as close to what we what we see as the legit Nesmith as I have ever seen. Brisa Nesmith Curly Birch. I hear people running down the stairs. Why are they awake? Well, they're running around and there's a lot of stomping, but at least they're laughing. That Curly Birch is a great looking knife. I absolutely agree. I love it. Love it. They used to sell it as a kit. I don't know if they do, but that's what I would do for sure. If they still sold it as a kit, I'd be like, line me up for 2. Line me up for 2. I know I'm boring some of you, but I'm just so. I'm gonna try to be as quick as possible. Find a nice Kephart and then move on to something else. They're eating cookies. Camille went to grandma's today and they made some cookies. And they're very, you know what? I kind of want another Falkneven F1. I have the one in the Koss, I think, but I would love to have one in one of the new Super Steels, which is a terrible thing to say because I've got an F1 and it's a very nice knife. But I want to, especially they got a really cool new sheath tech now. Look at that Bark River Nesmith in crew wear. Holy crap! Yeah, but I want to be able to sharpen it without developing like, you know what I'm saying? Peanut Trucker's driving across the desert, and our knife talk is keeping him awake. So I will keep talking. I'll just keep on talking, walking. Yeah. Oh well. Bunch of these Bark River Nesmiths, but it's that Brisa one because it's the curly maple. It's the blade shape that I see in my head when I hear about Nesmith. Like this Joker, very nice, very bloody affordable, but it's not the blade shape that I would want, you know. Yeah, I'm not gonna find the kit for the Nesmith, which is too bad. There's another. So much action up there for like 20 minutes to 11. I mean, one of them doesn't have any school, but so these River Twos, they have a real sort of French trade knife look to them, I find. Does anyone else find that? Russell says that blade shape gives me the jizz. It's the fizz. It's the fizz. Russell said, you know what I decided? Lots of foods are good with other foods, but you take cheese. Cheese is great in stuff like sandwiches, but cheese is best enjoyed on its own. Cheese is best enjoyed on its own, Russell. I agree with you completely. But I also still like it on a burger. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, but you guys know what I mean. What I'm saying when I'm talking about like a French trade knife. The knife is that the French traders traded to the First Nations peoples, the Native Americans, in return for high-end goods like food. Well, no, like pelts and stuff like that. I am looking for a Kephart. Ooh, there we go. There's a hella tomogamy. New model. New model is actually no longer the new model, which is funny. Oh, I mean, it says Lishan knives. Okay, I will take a look for that. Check out this Joker Canadiense natural. So that's sort of an homage to, oh, that Nordico looks very Cap Hardy. Cap Hardy? Wait, do they have a search? Am I like scrolling and wasting time when I could just be searching? Can I find her? Let's go. Can I find her? Let's do the search. Let's maybe do a little Kephart action. Yeah, I knew that. Okay, so that's gorgeous. Look at this one. Desert Ironwood. Hells yes. Too bad it's black liners, but oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. So Bark River, Kephart. That is gorgeous. It's too bad that Desert Ironwood's out of stock because I mean, this is pretty nice too, actually. This is, oh, this gives me the fizz. Holy crap. Oh, my land. It's got the mosaic pins. The mosaic? Mosaic? Wait. What's that steel? Let's see. CPM 3V. But like 389.95. Right? Dark curly maple red liners. Nice. I don't like the the burlap and all that stuff as much at all. There's a Breeza Kephart. So the Breeza's handle is probably a little more authentic, but wow. Those Bark Rivers, holy crap. Bark River, Kephart, wooden handle, mosaic pins. Desert Ironwood, mosaic pins. There, I have now manifested the Helitamagami in either steel, the Castrum Larsfeld, the Breeze Nesmuk Curly Birch, and the Bark River Kephart in Desert Ironwood with mosaic pins. The universe shall now help me out. Lishan knives. Says homie. Ooh. Desert Iron with Loveless bolts. That's pretty nice. That's quite nice. I will look them up a little bit more. A little bit more. But yeah. So I have done my manifesting work for the night. I think I've done some good work here. Okay, if you want to eat a tomato on its own, cut it. And just like sprinkle some salt or pepper on it and just munch. I've done that before. I find it very enjoyable. Homie, you're gonna get a couple of the Deletions. I mean, they ain't cheap. Look nice though. Where are they from? Where are they made? Oh, they're American made. Okay. Little fish. How you doing, Marcel? How's the weather where you are? Just taking a look. Yeah. Excuse me. Christy's going to be making Marcel's Greek tuna recipe next week. Let us know how that goes. I just did. I manifested and manifested. We'll see what happens. Marcel seriously makes that tuna recipe at least once a week, and she hopes he loves it. Christy, I do too. Yeah, here too. Humid, hot. Blech. Man, that's when I miss my old stomping grounds in North Vancouver because the humidity just wasn't there. In the winter, it's depressing, but the heat, it's a dry heat, which I love comparatively. Because the thing with a damp sort of humid heat is it's more dangerous because what's happening is like the sweat isn't wicking off your body the way it is in a dry heat, like say in coastal BC or whatever, So you don't get the the temperature regulation that your sweat is designed to give you. It drives me crazy. It drives me nuts. I saw a comment I want to go back to. Countryway said that's a nice kitchen knife. Were you talking about the Nesmik or the Kephart? Mr. Country Boy? Oops. Are you getting some of those Bark Rivers? Yeah. Oh, do it. And then I want to see pictures. The heat is no longer dry. I keep telling you, but you don't seem to believe me. It's humid as hell. That's not what my memories of Vancouver are. It's probably because the city has gone so much further up the sides of the mountain, so you don't get the climate effects of having greenery everywhere. Like I lived in North Van, right? Once you go up the hill, once you step away from the Lonsdale Quay and like Third and all that stuff, once you go up the hill, it was very tree lined. But like last time I was there, hold on, let me just get comfy here. Last time I was there, as I said, like I used to look at the mountains and see like city and then mountains, and now it's like city and then like mountains. And the more concrete jungle you throw down, the more it becomes like a heat island. So I could see that being the issue. Or it might be that the current is changing because of stuff that some people don't think about, don't believe in. Oh my snap! Look who's here. Foxy, man, we were just looking at knives. We was just looking at knives, Cliff. You done missed it. Country boy, I'm pretty sure you were talking about that Nesmic. Do you want me to bring it back up and we can see if that's what you were saying? Because you were talking about either the Nesmic or the Kephart going by. I think you're probably talking about the Kephart now that I'm thinking about it. But look, I'll pop this back on screen and you tell me. This is the one I want. And it's less expensive than these Bark Rivers. I don't really know Brisa though. Like I don't know if Brisa's good. I've heard that they're not bad. I mean, Joker is a very sort of run of the mill brand. They're quite good. I've held a couple of Jokers and they're quite good. But here's another Brisa Nesmic Curly Birch. Oh, this one comes with Fire Steel, which of course, why wouldn't you want the Fire Steel, right? It's not a Fire Steel, by the way. It's not a Fire Steel. Look, let me bring it up. Let's look at some pictures. Let's look at some damn pictures. That's not a Fire Steel. That is a ferrocerium rod or a ferro rod. This is the version of this knife I would buy if I had the money. I don't love red liners. I would have gone like blue or like orange or something, but that's not a make or break thing. Yeah. Country Boy, you're saying yes, that this is the knife. So interesting thing, because the way Nesmic used his Nesmic Trio, which by the way is one of the reasons I want one of these so bad, is so I can do some videos on the Nesmic Trio. This was his food prep knife. His, like what we would consider a bushcraft knife, was his pen knife. The little, just simple little pen, which I also need to source, by the way. Nesmic. No, that's Kephart. That's Kephart. That's Kevin Cowan. Damn it, Kephart, where did I put you? Where did I put you? Shite. Must be over there. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it. Yeah, so like I also want to. I still, well, I haven't been looking actively lately. Still want to get that little pen knife that's in the same shape as his illustrations in the book. But that was his bushcraft knife. That was his whittling knife and stuff. He used, the double-sided axe for larger tasks. This little pen knife for his smaller, like kindling or whatever. And that Nesmic he used, that was his food prep and cooking knife. I believe he said he just got home from. He's had a rough several weeks at work. You've sent me pics of the Bark River Gen 2 handles. I'd like to know your thoughts. Hold on. Oh, wow. That's different. I don't know what to think of that. Wait, hold on. Let me hide the screen. We don't need to be showing the screen anymore. It looks kind of weird how it comes up like that. Can I just sort of show this full screen? Like, what do you guys think? That's their new handle design? Why did they do that? I wouldn't say no to the knife over it, but I think I might like the old handles better. Working and gardening with new builds. What are the new builds? Destiny's saying that she hopes that that Cliff will have some relaxed time this weekend. Man, I don't know what it's like to relax on the weekend. Foxy says that Wednesday and Thursday is this weekend. Unfortunately, we're doing more work in the garden and yard. Tasks are never ending. I do absolutely feel the same way. Absolutely. I don't know, Omar. What do you think of that handle design? Yeah, I don't know if I like it. I don't know. I keep looking at it and it's like it seems off somehow. One other manifesting, I still would love that that Groman number 4 in a flat ground. That would be my camp cook knife. Absolutely no questions asked. What I currently have as my food prep knife is a mini Nesmic. I think you guys have seen it in a couple of my videos. It's a concave grind, convex, which is also fine, but a little small. So I absolutely would love to get one in a flat ground for sure. Homie is not sure if he likes those handles either. But are you gonna get one? Are you gonna get one and see, or is that like too expensive an experiment? Because they're I saw the price of those like 322. What is that US? I think that's an expensive mistake if you don't like it for sure. Destiny says, "Geesh, used to think my Martha Stewart knife was the best thing ever. Not anymore. Not after tonight's 4 into knives. What a sad sack of shit of a handle I have." Okay, I will tell you something about handles. One of my favorite handles. Oh no. One of my favorite handles on a bush knife I have ever had, and you're gonna have to stick with me on this, was the Bear Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife. The knife itself was fine, but the Chinesium blade, easy to sharpen, but it did dull up pretty quickly. The package deal on the whole knife, like it had a sharpener in the as part of the sheath and everything. It was a little ho hum, but um, I don't know if they still make it anymore. I'm looking it up just to see if they still make it. Fine edge, because I had the fine edge, not the. Well, you can get it on eBay. I'm just taking a look to see. Green Man Bushcraft. I think this knife is discontinued. Let me find a picture of it. Here's a review that probably gives it like a 0 or something. But okay, so I'll show you. Oh, get out of my way. So Um, the blade was okay. Look, I this was my first serious outdoors knife. I told you guys before I bought this accidentally at this in the same week as I bought the Gerber, the LMF2. Um, the handle was so ergonomic. It was so good in the hand that I kept the knife for longer than I probably should have. Oh, I see. No, the one in front is not the one I have. I have the one in the I had the one in the back. Um, and it felt so good in the hand. And it had orange on it. And I love my bush gear to have orange on it because as I've said to you guys before, I drop stuff in the long grass or the woods constantly. I now know that this is partly due to dyspraxia, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I like blaze orange on my stuff. So, which is why on my original when I gave that one, I did a giveaway on Bushcraft USA, and I kept the LMF2 as like a workshop pry bar, and that's when I bought my Australian made Woodlore clone, and I immediately put an orange lanyard on it, like a little braided some um, paracord in orange because I can see it. Right, I dropped something. Oh, there it is. And eh, the shape, like the blade profile, was too thick for what I wanted to do. But I didn't hate the knife as much as we're supposed to. That's the I didn't hit the knife as much as we're supposed to, right? We're supposed to, oh no, Bear Grylls, it's terrible. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but I still have very fond memories of that handle, those scales. Disney Chinesium blade, quotable quote. Fair enough. Christy's out. All right, Christy, have a good night. See you next Tuesday, I hope. Hey, Susie Q, how are you doing? Anyone who would spend over 300 or even that much needs to be. Country Boy just discorded me a pic of your dad's penknife. Just let me show that. Oh, and then we're going to shut her down because it's after 11 and I got to go to bed. I got to go to bed. Oh, I was going to try to hide the screen, but it's your username. That's a nice old knife for sure. That's cool. Bottle opener for the stubbies. I miss the stubbies. I tell you what, if I was Emperor of Canada, first thing I would do is say all the beer bottles are going back to the stubbies. You can't beat that shape. You just can't. So yeah, it's now 23:06. So we're gonna put this thing to bed until next week. What is the date next week? I just want to make sure I'm not like saying, yeah, I'll see you on like my daughter's birthday or something. So tonight we're the 15th, then it's the 22nd. Okay, yeah, perfect. So I'll see you guys next week. Everybody, please slam that thumbs up if you liked what we did tonight. If you liked my whole manifesting my 4 dream knives thing. Until next week, everybody, please stay healthy, stay safe, stay sane, and be kind to one another. Good night, all.